We're here, and man, and what a game that we just witnessed here. What a back and forth between these two teams at the very beginning. It looked a little bit shaky, but things turned out for Maryville at the end of the day. RMC, real quick, man. Are you still feel comfortable in your prediction at this current moment in time, or are you shaking a little bit?
No, I'm 100% fine with my prediction. Like I called Maryville 2-0. Maryville 2-0. Don't.
Maryville 2-0.
Sorry, Maryville 2-1. Yeah. There we go. Yeah. So I'm in perfect shape for that one. Iconic. I'm supporting the desk here.
In front of my eyes.
Nothing happened here.
I don't think you can gaslight me on this one, RMC. But gaslighting aside, it was a good game, right? We got to see a lot of different moments. AOE got to show a lot of the things that highlight them as a team, the craziness, the unique champion picks. I know us here, we were all like, yo, the Ashe Zyra lane is a very interesting one. Actually, Mike Young, we weren't even live, but you were the one that called that immediately. You saw the Ashe, and we were like, no, it's going to the support role. And you're like, no, it's Zyra, dude. It's the Zyra tech.
Yeah, Ashe Zyra, one of the most aggressive lanes. I had a feeling after you guys told me that they love playing range bot lanes, that's what they were going to do. And yeah, they pulled through the Ashe Zyra. Unfortunately, they weren't able to come out with the win, but we got to see some good points from the AGT early game.
Yeah, and I think the other reason why we were thinking a lot more of Ashe support was because Dual King's been playing. Deep Learn, this is his first game on Ashe in competitive as well. So a little bit of a surprise. And, I think we largely agreed off screen that a lot of what AGT's problem was this particular game was picking that Ashe Zyra and not playing to it. They constantly went to that top side instead. And hey, huge props to Moose Hater winning out that lane that heavily. And I understand that the jungler wants to go up there and snowball that. But gank once, gank twice, get that gold, and you need to bring it to the bot side. You didn't, and in the end, Deep Learning and Dual King, this bot side, which had so much potential, just never quite got to flourish.
I really want to touch on that too, because our caster desk, they dubbed both of these compositions death ball comps, right? Like both of these comps had different tools to kind of swing their weight around, and it was eventually Maryville that was able to come out on top, but it was a very much so, even on the desk, we were all talking about like, oh, they both have so many different ways to start up these fights, right?
Yeah, I mean, both of them deathball comps, like you said. So it's just really who pulled the trigger first. You had the Ashe Zyra, Wukong or Malphite, Wukong on one side, a ton on that side. Maryville, we saw the Zac for Iconic constantly being the first one in. Niles as well had the trigger, though Niles often was just follow-up engaged for the most part there. So it felt like it just came down to whoever pulled the trigger first and on the right targets. Because AGT pulled the trigger a lot, but it wasn't always on the right targets.
Yeah, also, it was kind of like a early game deathball comp versus a late game deathball comp. So AGT definitely needed to snowball that one. And we were able to see some good early game plays. But the key player that I want to highlight for some of the team fights were APA on the Victor pick, zoning out a lot of the enemy teammates and dealing a ton of damage at the end of the game.
What a coincidence, because when we talk about pulling the trigger and we talk about APA, there was one decisive moment. One that you, Mike Young, were like, yo, there's going to be something crazy about to happen inside this fight. We have our replay to actually go through here. And Mike Young, I want you to walk me through it because there's so much chaos and so much thought process that goes into this play.
Yeah, so in this fight, like AGT is actually pretty even in this game. But just watch how APA decides to play this fight. But what's really important is in this situation, AGT thinks they have the first advantage going to the Baron pit and they burn it fast enough. But here we have a Zac. Zac is really good at stealing. Like Zac gets into the pit really easily, gets to the Baron side really easily. And so it's always going to be a 50-50 when Zac is here. And here during the entire fight, Victor is untouched. Victor even helped damage the Baron for the smite. So that was also really awesome to see. And now it's just like everyone running away from their lives. And then the Victor's just free to deal as much damage as he can.
Yeah, and the funny thing too there is that APA comes late to the fight, and you can see before APA shows up, Niles and Iconic are actually taking a beating. Niles ends up dying before he even arrives. And then, sure, Iconic steals away Baron, but he's really low, and he's not able to contribute much. So, despite not having a front line, the moment APA shows up with all his damage there, AGT just can't deal with it. They've already blown their entire damage up front onto these two tanks, and with nothing left in said tank, APA just comes in clean house.
Yeah, and it is a beautiful way of like them communicating, making sure to have that late game communication, right? It didn't feel like Maryville ever got nervous in terms of how they called for the fights in the later game. We even saw before that dragon fight, we saw a play that happened where there was a late TP that happened from Niles, and they still cleaned up with the bailout from the Renata. And I think I just agree with overall the points you guys are talking about the fact that they just draft so well for that mid to late, and they played around that beautifully. My question, I'm going to start off with you, RMC, because I'm not sure where your loyalty lies right now. What is AOE GT looking to do inside of this Nets game? Because they are a ball of chaos.
They are, and so I want to see more of the chaos. I think their draft this game was fine. It was a little bit rougher to execute in terms of early versus late. You had to be able to execute on it, but I think AGT actually showed that they could in the early game. It was just a small mistake in terms of resource allocation, giving a little bit too much gold to Moose Hater, not playing to the bot side quite as much. So I think it's an easy fix going into game 2. Their fundamental mechanics are fine. The drafting is still fine. I'm sure Argentum is going to switch things up a little bit here. But yeah, it just comes down to little tweaks. So I firmly believe AGT still has it. They just need to tune up the early game a little bit more. Or the way they snowball the early game into the mid a little bit more.
Mike Young, how do you feel? This is a team full of chaos. They're going against somebody who we have dubbed to be a bit more consistent here on the desk in Maryville. Do you think they bring that chaos? Do you think they turn it up another temperature?
Oh, I really like their draft, actually. There's a lot of CC, like a team fight comp. There's a lot of agency for the jungler to gank every single lane. With the Syndra, with the Ashe ulti, the Zyra follow-up, the Malphite ulti. The one thing that I want to see more is when you have that great setup in the bot lane with the Ashe ulti, you can bring your Syndra down there with the mid-prow and then start diving the enemy Kalista and Renata. So that's something I want to see more if they go into these range aggressive supports, like set up those dives, continue to rinse and repeat with the mid prio.
I would love to see that as well. Let's see if they draft that CC, if they follow up on it, and they're able to get the advantages for themselves. As we're ready to go into game number 2. Deseret's Rudu, take it on away.
I'm taking it. It belongs to me. It's mine now. However, you know what doesn't
ours, actually.
You know what doesn't belong to that desk over there is trust, especially with RMC, the gaslighter, the scoundrel, esports Jesus. I'm watching Judas. Excuse me, I'm watching you right there. But as we get into this game number 2, I personally, yeah, it could be either way. I personally want to know from you, Rude Dude. What do you see changing up right here? What do you think Ginger Turmeric need to do coming into this matchup against Maryville? Because it seemed like they did have answers. I did like the Ashe Zyra pick. I do like the Malphite pick over in the top lane, but it just didn't click together beyond those early plays.
No, I think that actually it's weird enough to say, but what I want to see is a bit more of the same, except continue to progress on it. I think they had that one mis-execution in the bot lane where their dove went really awry. It was only a 1-for-1, but there was so much that followed up from that got really, really bad. That I think, sort of led them down the road of having pretty difficult game from there. Something also that also I kind of noted was that Maryville were using their TPs way more for the team. I don't recall seeing Moose Hater make a really proactive TP into a full-on 5v5 throughout the entire game, where we saw APA and Niles constantly beelining it down to support the squad, doing whatever they can with their teleports to help out. As far back as me, albeit taking the mick, I suppose, a little bit out of Niles for that TP at level 5 down to his bot lane tier 2 to prevent a jungle invade. We saw that it didn't matter overall. We saw that it was a good enough prevention tactic to keep Maryville at in a good enough position. And I think that that's something that they can look toward. And I think that speaks to the the associations of each of these teams that we'd drawn from early stages. Maryville much better with that team coordination, and AGT potentially still need to work on playing as a 5-man unit.
So I want to see how it shapes up in the draft and how things change over there. Specifically with the bot lane, you know, I was talking about that a little bit right when I passed it, but the big thing that sticks out to me is they allowed the Kalista Renata to go through. You know that duo and how deadly it can be, as we are ready for draft right now to see if that's still going to be the case. Typically, a lot of teams have opted to just take away the Renata and allow Kalista to go something else. You know, Zyko is one of those who will take a Mumu alongside Kalista, has no problem doing that. And I think especially with Maryville being on blue side, it is a big question around that Kalista.
Yeah, the Kalista or the Renata, we've seen the Renata actually first picked so far today. Granted, it was in our other series, but it is, you know, a crucial part of that duo, of course. The way, of course, it functions is you can actually keep the Kalista alive for a little bit longer. You don't have to pull out the Rend off of the initial death. You can stack up just a couple more spears before you go down, and that can potentially be the enough to find the execute threshold onto a target. But I think for Maryville, business as usual, take away the Udyr, take away the Senna, and no surprises, honestly, for me from AOE Ginger Turmeric's side, where they say, hey, you had questions about this Kalista Deathstrokes. Well, guess what? It's getting banned first off.
Yeah, so no more questions going to be asked there. Kalista not going to be on the Rift on this time. Seraphine going to be banned away as well. So this leaves a lot of questions into the bot lane pool as to what is going to be picked up over there. So we have one more ban to be grabbed by Turmeric, B1 over to Maryville.
Plenty of options still available. We could very well see another ADC taken for them. I mean, this is, you know, this could potentially be a bit of a taunt, saying, hey, you first picked this Ashe, look at how well it works for you. Or it could be them, and I guess going for it in their own right. It's always interesting finding these tournament metas. If we see an Ashe first pick in anywhere else in the world, people are probably scratching their heads. But I guess in Proving Ground Circuit Qualifier number 2, it's starting to make a little bit of sense. It wasn't something that Deep Lane and Duo King were able to amount a victory with, but it's certainly something that's got its priority.
Okay. We do have a swap of picks right here. Believe it's Ashe. So, okay. We are getting the confirmation. It is Lucian picked up by Maryville. So AGT, they're bringing it back again. They're going to go with the Ashe. They're happy still keeping locked in with that.
Okay, just gonna check, make sure, see if it's sides are swapped or whether we've got the champions just being put into the wrong slots, because this is actually fairly confusing. But I think that it's just the champions, so we'll do our best to navigate this as best as possible. We've got a Wukong locked in. I mean, either way, Lucian plus Xin Zhao, we have got some fairly early game aggression being picked up, I believe, by Maryville. So this is something that we could have very well expect to see them pilot quite successfully. And that Nami, there we go. A bit of a takeaway, I guess.
Well, no. Now it makes sense. If the champions are switched, that means the Lucian's over on the other side. I'm hoping. We're working off the producer on this one. We'll get this fixed up. No worries onto that. It means the Lucian should be on the other side. Lucian Nami is a pretty classic combo to have. Very, very aggressive. Lots of lane domination for the side. We are taking a pick right now. First pick for Maryville. Ashe was the first pick for Ginger Turmeric. Okay. So we got that.
It sounds like there was a fumble in the lobby, and they'll take each other's champions. So it, like that they've fumbled, and Maryville have got, we actually wanted to take Lucian, and then AGT are like, well, we actually wanted to take Ashe. This is a little awkward. We'll take your pick. But for confirmation for the viewers at home, like you say, the only things that need to be switched in your minds is that Maryville have not taken the Ashe, they've taken the Lucian. Ginger Turmeric take the Lucian to pair nicely with that Nami then down in the bot lane.
Alright, this is going to be Ashe Leona in the bottom lane for Turmeric on that one. So lots of heavy engage to come out of that, and something that Xin Zhao really, really enjoys.
Yeah, you're not wrong. A diving buddy for Keel in this matchup. Something that wasn't necessarily missing in the last game. Did have that Malphite from Moose Hater, and I need to see some really heavy AP from Ginger Turmeric right now coming from Captain Show. It doesn't have to be this pick. They can, I think, take the Gnar here is honestly probably the best pick that they can opt into. Poppy taken away from Moose Hater, which you see is by and large comfort pick in all situations, but the fact that Gnar has got this far through a draft, not something that we've seen particularly often. and instead they opt into the Corki in the mid lane, so it's that heavy magical damage that we talked about. But something that I want to point out is in one of their group stage games, AOE Ginger Turmeric, they let Gnar go through both games. Now, one game, Moose Hater was able to take the Poppy and was feeling pretty comfortable with it. But another game, when it got banned away in game number 2, opted into the Trundle, I believe, and was feeling pretty confident about that. Never mind, I forget it was actually Sejuani that he played into that matchup, as my memory redawns upon me. But counterpick for Moose Hater was something that was very successful for them in their CLG Faith series. We will see if with this counterpick, Moose Hater can pilot something a lot more volatile.
10 seconds left on the clock before that pick does go through. Swain locked in on the side of Maryville University. Something APA has yet to play into this tournament so far. So going to see a little bit of a change up here. A lot more team fight orientation as Ginger Turmeric. Whoa, what is going on here? Corki and Cassiopeia.
There's a world.
Okay. All right, let's see.
We're disregarding that.
Okay, that makes sense.
There we go.
Oh, man.
That makes a lot more sense.
Cass.
Camille? Top laner, no. I was promised Cassiopeia.
Nope. Gonna be Moose Hater on Camille, but hey, he got the pick that he was going for, something aggressive and volatile over on the top side into Niles.
Okay, I like that. It's a good answer into the nod generally, and this is something that I was quite honestly hoping for. My expectations from the second round of AGT was that they'd just blind a tank into the top lane and then let Shrimps get his counter pick in the mid lane, but they really diversify what they've become accustomed to, I suppose. Giving counter pick to Moose Hater in that top lane, like I say, was their route to success in their earlier group stage game up against CLG Faith. When they were 0-1 in the group stage, they needed to find a win to get their way out. It was Moose Hater's counter picks that led them to finding wins, that led them to getting this position now in the playoff stages, and it's what they need now, I suppose. Is staring down 1-0 currently in the game, or in the series. Have to see if they can pilot this top side effectively.
And with having that Corki, it does bring a lot for Ginger Turmeric when they want to fight over neutral objectives, typically over like the second Drake. You start grabbing that package and you have an effective way to cut the team in an instant. You know, Captain Shrimps, one of his favorite champions was Rumble. Well, the Corki package is basically just a longer equalizer, and they can do a lot of damage for those neutral team fights. We'll see if they can bring that together. I do like the pick that's paired alongside that. Hookshot, Enchanted Crystal Arrow, Solar Flare, all of them absolutely fantastic tools. Are they enough to get Ginger Turmeric back into the series, to make this a series? We're going to find out right now as we load on to the Rift. There's a lot you have to face when going against Maryville University.
Something that I'm always looking at when I see a Swain in particular is how short range is the enemy team's composition. As I might have to hold that point, because Maryville, they're going on a bit of a journey as a 5-man unit. It's a family road trip into the enemy's jungle, and they go about 2 meters from the house, and they forget that they left the fridge open.
I left the keys over there. I mean, hey, that's the camaraderie of Maryville University. Even in the early game, even in the first seconds, they just walk around. But yeah, I do want to kind of bounce off of that as we do have a little bit of time. Maryville University, one of the things we always highlight about them and love so much about them is in the collegiate system, being able to work together as a unit. As said earlier in the interview that we saw from Iconic with RMC, that you're always in the lab, you're always within proximity of each other, you're always building this relationship.
Exactly. Always, like you mentioned, that synergy is something that doesn't go away, right? It's something that you just constantly are able to work upon, to build upon, and that camaraderie as well. Obviously, fairly good for Maryville in that cohesive
the workout
unit.
boys, you know?
Yeah.
And Niles and Odd Orange constantly posting pics of their gains.
The Swole Bros part 2.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Golden Glue and Svenskeren?
Yeah.
The OG Swole Bros. We're just Maryville out here making V2.
Man. I forgot how much of a transformation Svenskeren had. That guy got buff from his early days.
That is true. This is the potential arc of AGT, right? They're in a little bit of a slump right now. Potentially, they can turn it back around in game number 2. Game number 3 going to be that crucial decider, if they can ever get there even. As to whether or not they're going to be quite so powerful.
You want to believe. I want to believe. I want this to go to game 3. Can't have just 2 quick sweeps.
Yeah, we could be in for an early night here.
Oh, yeah. Turmeric, don't want that to be the case. A quick engage with that Zenith Blade, and not even at level 2. That was just a harassment engage.
And not something that we tend to see from Lucian Nami's, actually. Both of the starting spells for Maryville a little bit remiss from what we're used to from Electrocute Nami in the bot lane. Typically, you see both of the laners start with their E. Lucian just walks forward, E's into somebody, and then just trades press the attack with Electrocute, and there is no trade back. But I think that recognizing the potential all-in from an Ashe and a Leona is potentially a little too scary for them, so they go for the little bit more safer approach. Burn a cooldown or burn a health pot from Deep Lane, who this time around has gone for that lethal tempo again on the Ashe. So looking to scale up quite nicely into the late game. Of course, we got to see him last time really struggle up against the Zac as the front line, but there's no innately frontline tank, I want to say. We've got 2 frontline bruisers, but not necessarily 2 people that are going to be a menace for Deep Lane to try and cut through.
Early lane states coming out. A lot of priority for Maryville University in this bottom lane. Pathing coming out for Iconic is towards the spot side on top of it. It's going to be no surprise that he'll play towards that bot lane a lot. Lucian Nami does really well when it comes to following up on jungle ganks and bringing that damage to get the kills. But it's just going to be scouting out coming from Iconic. With that information gathered, very much knows where Kill is. Will be on that top side.
And a reminder as well, if you are just joining us, AOE, Ginger Turmeric, and Maryville, 2 teams that are battling it out for a spot in the top 6 of PG so that they don't have to play the play-in stage of Proving Grounds. A win here doesn't guarantee you a spot, but it does give you a much better chance. A lose here means that you are guaranteed in that 6 to 10 bracket and that you have to play in the play-in stage up against an academy team.
The good thing about getting a win here is it does put your fate in your own hands, where a lot of these teams, once you fall off at this side of the bracket, it is just looking at that team and being like, hey, I really hope you lose so I can just not play in the gulag, man. Can you just take the L?
Yeah, exactly. It is the camaraderie of anti-camaraderie, I suppose. You don't always want your fellow amateur comrades to have that default, but it might have to happen for you to get through. Okay, nice positioning, actually. This is something that I've noticed as well with the alcoves. People so infrequently check them for people recalling that just slipping in there can actually grant you a much better reset than having to go all the way back to you can see where Zyko is trying to hide to get this wave crashed.
Zyko really trying to hold this wave before it crashes into the tower. Pushing it to the side right here. Duo King's not going to really let him do that and wants to make sure that Azog's going to be suffocated over here. Meanwhile, Turmeric are playing towards this top lane. Just want to crash the wave into the tower so Moose Hater can get this recall and Niles won't get a freeze.
I don't think he's done too good a job just yet. You know, he's got to come back and make sure that this actually gets sent in under the turret. A little bit of wasted time. And yeah, this is... I mean, Niles can still hold this if he wants.
Yep.
This has not gone well.
It's not gone well at all. I mean, you call your jungler over to break a freeze to get that recall, and Niles disrespects Q. Doesn't care. He shows up. No, you're level 4, bro. I got a problem here. Get out of my lane, both of you. The resets come through. Maryville University are playing towards this bottom side where Kill already made a play top side into Mount to nothing. Now Duo King, all by his lonesome, will try and jump onto Iconic.
1v3.
I mean, Iconic takes a lot of damage from this Drake. He's getting lower and lower. Falls to just about 100 health. Almost gets dropped. Deep Learn will jump in, and there's the volley. We'll get first blood for Deep Learn, but it's a trade. 1-for-1. Jumping in his APA. Demonic Ascension will tear apart Ginger Turmeric and grant this Drake for Maryville University.
2-for-1 plus a dragon. Maryville come out vastly on top in that play in the bot side, and you know, Duo King sets up a kill for his ADC. Supportal duties completed. But Captain Shrimps wasn't there, wasn't ready to try and opt into that play. May try and take a bit of a trade onto APA as he re-enters the mid lane. But without having, you know, too many rockets stacked up, doesn't quite have the ability.
Oh, look at this. Ultimatum going to come out of Moose Hater. Wants to challenge Niles, but the
Niles
Meganar bar is coming up. Slammed into the wall. Niles puts Moose Hater in his place.
Oh, and it was all a bait. I'll eat under your turret, then I'll flash back out, and I will still beat you in the 1v1. Moose has even taken Ignite in this matchup to have the beneficial advantage. He doesn't get it, and Duo King now dying bot.
We are not done. Azog doesn't catch the Zenith Blade, gets caught by the Shield of Daybreak. But look at this rough spot right here. Azog can't get the kill into Duo King in time, so Deep Learn able to net out ahead.
Oh, really good for AGT's bot lane. Now Keel's here as well. Potential for another kill.
The slow's going through. Mana a little bit too low. Zyko first to burn the flash. Now going to push in the wave. Big play is coming out for the bot lane of Turmeric. Finally something to play around.
Yeah, something positive for them. Top lane was not going well. That skirmisher in the Dragon Pit as well. Also not good, but deep lane gets a kill where Azog falls, and it's Zyko that gets the kill for Maryville. A 1-for-1 that is very beneficial for the AOE Ginger Turmeric bot lane. Now, they have that window. They have that position that they can play around. 2-0 on your ADC. What can they do to facilitate deep lane? It's not something that we've seen particularly a lot of from AGT. They tend to play these very aggressive bot lane duos that don't necessarily get the support that is needed. But Keel there this time to try and help out. Gets that wave crashed under the turret successfully this time, and is able to at least facilitate a bit more of a snowball for deep lane. It's worth noting that he's still a level down in farm as well, and those items are on par now with Azog. But that's a good step in the right direction.
Now you need to take another step over towards this top lane where Niles is still holding down the fort like no tomorrow. I believe a play is being called over here. Iconic. The Rift Herald available. Right now, Niles has complete lane control. You know, it's not a question of lane priority. It's lane control coming out for Niles. He will continue to catch that wave over towards his tower and force Moosehater into these uncomfortable situations. And this allows Iconic, whenever he shows up, he knows instant priority will come out from Niles.
Yeah, he can do what he wants when he wants, essentially, with the way that this top lane has gone in it. It doesn't all stem back to that top lane freeze, but I think that it's great commentary on quite how that top lane has gone. The fact that Niles was able to hold that freeze in the 1v2, then dashes under the turret, but still finds the solo kill in the 1 versus 1. Niles currently really putting the screws to Moosehater and sort of welcoming him to the amateur space as best as possible. Of course, Moosehater stepping in for existence just this tournament. I think is his 3rd competitive series that he's played in the amateur space, so also a fairly rookied player who's certainly came out with a bit of a bang with his strong words, strong opinions on other top laners. As AGT now in a little bit of a push position, spotted out in the jungle.
APA able to get some vision over the wall. Will go Captain Shrimps. Enchanted Crystal Arrow will land onto APA, but Swain is not easy to take down, and Kill will just disengage over the wall. Solar Flare goes out and Kill's the right place to be if he wants to take down the support. Zyko fed over. Kill grabs that kill over the wall. Comes Azog. He'll put the culling onto Duo King, who's waiting for that cooldown. Shield of Daybreak waiting to slam into the face of Azog. There's no more summoner spells to be burnt to get him out of there, so it's a double kill as Turmeric are suddenly with the gold lead, Rude Dude.
Deep Learn with that cross-map potential saves Keel and sets up for what is, I think, a 3-for-0 down in that bot side. APA the only one who's able to limp away to safety from Maryville. But really good team fighting, really good skirmishing from AOE Ginger Turmeric down in that bot lane. They set themselves up quite nicely in the 2 versus 2. Captain Shrimps dashes over the wall, gets himself to a relative safety point where he can just deal damage from over the Drake wall. And that cross-map capability that Deep Learn has with the Ash Arrow really sets up for a nice advantage, again, generated out of this AGT bot lane.
Now, this is something desperately needed for Ginger Turmeric. You need to push out the wave in the mid lane. Get Captain Shrimps to get a reset. Okay, wave cleared. He'll get his reset. He's going back for that package. We have 25 seconds before Dragon is going to spawn. So these resets, oh so crucial for both squads.
May have been a little bit of time since we've seen a Corki, but it, important to remember that package tends to be a pretty good tool around these Drakes spawning. Doesn't necessarily mean that you get them, but the fight that ensues afterwards is normally very favored for you. And I like the way that I see Iconic path toward this top side at the same time as Moosehater recognizes that maybe he's going to stick around under that turret for 1 wave too long. The cross map is tending to be, okay, they're going to get Drake, we will dive top. There's no top to dive, we'll take the turret instead. It's a gold for an objective trade. Maryville stick down that Rift Herald, and they're going to funnel a lot of gold into their top laner, into Niles, who's having a whale of a time though so far in this top side. As Moosehater going to just scout out Iconic, doesn't know APA's here.
Ooh, Moosehater caught up. Can't even hook shot away. Beautiful cyclone timing. Results in Moosehater going down. Maryville University, they concede the dragon. They don't give a damn about that. They'll just take the tower and the top side and continue that siege forward into the tier 2.
And they're going to get that tier 2 as well. There's nobody to respond for AOE Ginger Turmeric. They don't have an answer to this push. Niles is going to get 2 turrets worth of gold, I think, on this top side. He's not staying around for it, actually, so a little bit of restraint, more so than anything, as APA hits a never move.
Ooh, APA, Demonic Ascension. A third of HP left for Captain Shrimps. Solar Flare going to go out. Tidal Wave gets in the knock-up onto Deep Learn, followed by the bubble. A chain of CC forces the cleanse out of Deep Learn, who's running low, but so is Azog. Iconic wants to join the fight. No jungler on the side of Turmeric to follow through. Psycho still with the chase, but there is the Shield of Daybreak. Provides the stun. Now Duo King has to flash. Barely escaping the bot lane of Turmeric, but this has big implications, the priority that's coming out from Maryville University.
Yeah, Keel's trying to find a fight on this bot side. He's not going to have the move first from his bot lane. Goes forward.
Oh, Keel trying in, but the bubble from Zyko. Beautifully found. Keel not even going to try for the win. Becomes lightning onto Azog. Or will he? Positions forward. Not going to land it. Relentless Assault too fast. Pursue away. Ginger Turmeric. This is back and forth, Rude Dude. This is starting to get back and forth, and this is getting me on the edge of my seat. The chaos is coming online.
It is, and this is very similar to how we saw game number 1, honestly. The state of the game that we're in. Less momentum this time in favor of Maryville at this point, and they could very well dive Iconic.
Oh, they can go for the tower if they want. They don't even got to commit to the dive. Finally going to get the knock-up onto Iconic. Tower going to go down. Pressure for Turmeric in the bot lane. It's Iconic backs off. Now Zyko going to rejoin Iconic. Doesn't have a Cyclone. It's barely coming off cooldown. Oh, meanwhile, Nizel still pushing this top side. Maryville want to make this a cross-map play. They want every lane to find success, but Kill has something to say. Will take down Iconic.
Okay, very nice. Vision of Empire is going to grant a kill onto Keel. It looks like slow, not quite enough.
This is so rough for Turmeric. They just can't seem to get out of this engagement that Maryville keep pursuing.
TP down to the bot side by Captain Shrimps to deter the dive coming through. So it's a kill that goes the way of AOE Ginger Turmeric. It's Keel that picks it up. This 3-1-2. Xin really doing fairly well through this early game, but unfortunately, everywhere around him starting to bleed out. That TP into the bot lane has given APA free time in the mid lane. This turret all but taken. And all of that early gold that Niles got gifted from his solo kill to the 2 turrets that he's been able to take have given him a massive advantage in this top lane. Moose Hater, he got counter pick, he got early game jungle support, but he has not been able to translate it into a lead. Niles is demolishing in this top lane, and as soon as he leaves, it's a bit akin to what we were saying about Sniper in that first series. As soon as he gets out of that top lane, somebody's going to come down to the rest of the map, and they are going to rain terror upon you.
And a Fednar is a sight to see once they're able to join those team fights. And Niles is just itching to be able to come in to get that hot tag and drop down Ginger Turmeric. But it has been back and forth thus far. A lot of plays coming out of Turmeric in this bot side has enabled them into a position where they have a fighting chance into this. But there's so much they have to go through. Deep Learn getting caught out by Niles. A shutdown picked up by Azog, and Maryville University just like that find the pick.
Incredible. It just starts off with APA walking at him. There's no way they should ever get that kill, but finds it just in time. The spacing, the timing on the never move from APA is perfect. Deep Learn turns back to fire the arrow, it plants him, and it gives just enough range for the Swain E to come back. And as soon as that hits, Maryville come out of the woodwork. They just come out from bot side, from top side. Niles is there with the Gnar. They slam back Deep Learn, and they find a quick pick onto the AD carry of AOE Ginger Turmeric. Unfortunately for Maryville, I think it is just the kill. It doesn't necessarily grant them too much, but with the Drake spawning in 45 seconds in that bot lane, it does give them a good little bit of momentum in their favor.
So now the reset's coming in as we look for the resync with the package and the dragon. Maryville University will be the first ones to get their footing here. Gonna play with that off of the bot lane prio that they have. Mid lane prio gonna be matched as Turmeric play over there, but look at this. Captain Shrimps almost walking into a bad situation. Will not find that. Instead has to clear out the wave. So much control out of Maryville University. They're setting up for this Drake beautifully, Rudu.
Yeah, and just choking out AGT. Dashing onto a Swain. Never too easy to find this kill. You can see Demonic Ascension, but that's not going to be ready for a fight.
Iconic over the wall. Looking at Duo King. Will flash onto Kill. Cyclone going to be used, but kind of returned from Kill. Zyko, not in the best place to be. Moose Hater will jump onto him, but it is the support. Support is ready to fight this one out. Duo King hops in, but gets dropped in an instant. And now Maryville University, after taking 2, they can take the rest of this team fight with ease. Niles doesn't even need to show up. He's there just for the show, just to make sure he can be that victorious picture at the 17-minute mark. Maryville University taking a team fight win and just destroying this bot lane.
And the parallels from game number 1 really starting to come true. It's even until Maryville really start to come online. A very close, very even mid-game thus far, but Maryville just barely eking out an advantage. And like you mentioned, Niles was not there for that fight. It was a 4v5, one that Maryville able to turn around, using APA in the front line to buy time on one side. Iconic does the same thing when APA has to drop down, and Ginger Turmeric just barely, not quite able to get the kills that they need. A little bit desynced, not quite all on the same page. Moose Hater dives forward, his TP flank just a little too deep. Not quite ready with the rest of the team, as 4 AOE Ginger Turmeric now staring really into a difficult spot for themselves there. PG top 6 capabilities hanging in the balance. A reminder, if they lose this, they do not lock top 6. They cannot possibly do it. And Maryville put themselves in a much better spot to do so.
Yeah, all those infinite realities of the universe dialing down as these games come. I want to thank Rude Dude for being able to put that foldy sheet out for us. For all of us smaller brain people to be able to realize what the stakes are, what the odds are. And that gulag, oh so scary for any team to have to participate in. As a reminder to our audience, facing off in the gulag, you will be facing off against the bottom teams of Academy, but that is an Academy. It's been on fire ever since we've had our summer split of Proving Grounds last year. All that talent rising up to the top is going to be a tough gulag to have to get out of.
It really is, and particularly with the lower seeded Academy teams all starting to, I feel like, make improvements as well to their rosters, or at the very least trying to change something in their rosters as well. These guys want to perform in PG. They you know, recognizing that, okay, our regular season may not have been quite what we want it to be, but we're more than happy to throw hands in the gulag. We want to make sure that our season ends as best as possible, as Maryville are throwing hands right now.
Right on to Duo King. Cyclone going to be used, but will not get the knockup. Does get the flash out. And that's still a crucial summoner spell, even on the support, because this is a Leona, and Leona engages. That is their entire kit.
Thought they were going to try and look for a pick on somebody in this spot, and there's nobody there. So they're merely catching the wave, sending it forward. As Moose Hater, it looks like he's going to go for a bit of a traded play, looking to see if he can take this top tier 1, that objective bounty, of course. Going to give a little bit of gold back to everybody on AOE Ginger Turmeric, and Captain Shuts with these rockets should be able to clear out this wave fairly easily. Looks like they're sending APA up to try and stop this turret from going down, and yeah, that turret, it's going to take a while to get taken down. Niles has done a great job at stopping that.
And APA is ahead. He has teleport. Moose Hater does not.
Ooh.
If Maryville fight this as a team fight, they should come out ahead without much issue. Duo King already falls, so hey, it's completely in the pocket of Maryville University on this siege.
APA is here. He's got TP, saying, do I need to go down there? Nah, I got support in the homies. They are more than capable of dealing with anything, really, that AGT can throw at them. And that's another crucial point of the Leona Flash. You know, even if you have the Flash, it can be a very difficult one-way trip, but one that you can sometimes get out of. Without Flash, it is a decided one-way. You go in, you do not come back out. Duo King finds that one out the hard way.
That's the hard part about having a Leona. Because Leona is very one-dimensional in that she does go for these hard engages, hard crowd control. But if you start to fall behind, you feel very squishy. You feel very helpless. You feel very hopeless on that end.
The rest of your team's just there. I don't really want to follow up on this, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, Moose Hater. My word, Azog. That was easy. They just walked up, even underneath the tower. Azog's willing to take those shots.
This is no culling, no Gale Force Lucian, just rattling shots into Moose Hater, who has really nothing to say about it. Recognizes that the E is often cooldown. Now they're going to TP behind. Is package ready?
The hero play waiting to come out. Captain Trimps will come in with the package, landing it onto the back line. Azog gets low. One pick found. Package. Both carries dropped. Ginger Turmeric trying to fight their way back in and getting the targets they needed to. A triple kill picked up by Captain Trimps and Turmeric. It's still a far fight to have, but it's a breath of air coming out from the challengers.
I think this Baron is an overstep. If they go for this, they're going to be battling up against a Mega Gnar. Niles is going back to base. He's got that Gnar bar fully ready it is. It's just turned Mega now. Maybe they can get away with this, AGT. Maybe they've got the world where they can do this.
They're testing. They're limit testing right now. This is a
They
tough
have
one.
to, I like it.
Niles is coming in. Niles looking to get the slam, but it's only onto one, and Niles is going to get dropped. The Baron still unaggroed. Niles
Great
falls.
play.
Ginger Turmeric take down Niles, and they will follow it up by grabbing the Baron. But another teleport being channeled. It's going to be APA. A new challenger has arrived. Kill will flash over the wall to find safety. Still caught out is going to be Deep Learn. But this is a big pick for Turmeric. Multiple kills and Baron acquired.
Not only does it stay their extension in the game, it keeps them with that breath of fresh air. It delays how well Maryville can close out this game. They don't have a Baron for another 6 minutes. The best way to siege against a Cloud is with that Baron buff. Yes, they're going to have to forfeit this dragon, but it's a Cloud Drake and it's not even the soul. AOE Ginger Turmeric, when they needed to, their backs against the wall, they pull out the shotgun and they start fighting back.
Big picks. Incredible picks coming out from Turmeric. You know, all of that off of Captain Shrimps. Using that package outside of the neutral objectives just takes it for the fight with a brilliant teleport. And now Turmeric are set up in a good spot to still fight this back. It's still going to be the long haul, though. They are not instantly into this one, but they've given themselves a fighting chance. As you can see, that gold lead dwindled.
And it's important to remember that the 3 kills went to Captain Shrimps, the person who made the play, the one who really set up for AOE Ginger Turmeric to come back into this game. Now, the most profitable person on Summoner's Rift has that 3 completed items. Spike, I'm not too sure how I feel about the Essence Reaver. I'll wait and see how well this ends up getting played on out. But Deep Learn as well, further ahead of his counterpart, funnily enough, than Azog, despite Azog having, stepped up in a fairly huge way thus far. Deep Learn, 2.5 items on this Ashe. When that Wit Sense starts to come through, going to be able to really kite up against the Maryville squad. And with all of the turrets, I suppose, for AoE still to take down, that gold lead could well turn to neutral.
But this is something that's not going to change. It's this top lane matchup of Niles and Moosehater. Moosehater can't challenge. Look at the CS right now. We're heading towards that territory, the Flame Horizon. Unfortunately, that arrow going wide. Attempted engage from Turmeric. But yeah, that top lane battle is not something Moosehater wants anytime soon. It's a huge deficit down there, even with that Baron buff.
Yeah, it's going to take a few items. There is a world at some point where Moosehater comes out on top. Unfortunately, it's fairly far removed at this stage. Cut 2 completed items for the Gnar is too much of a hurdle for the Camille to try and battle up against. You're probably waiting for Death Dance to be completed on one side, and even then it does become a little bit more difficult. That Baron about to wear out, though, 30 seconds on it. Nothing really else left for Ginger Turmeric to claim with this timing. And, it goes back to what we were saying. That wasn't a Baron that was going to win Ginger Turmeric the game. It was one that bought them more time.
Bought them a lot of time onto this. Got them the mid lane tower, something so crucial to get when it comes to control over the map. But Maryville University are still looking for more here. They're not on the back foot just yet, but so much reprieve and gold now acquired by Turmeric. And looking at that gold deficit, it has been dwindled down to just 1k.
And it's good to see, Deserux. This series, it looked like it was going to be that swift 2-0 Maryville.
Yeah.
Come that 15-minute marker, was starting to come back online and started to put the ball back in their half of the court and really had the momentum going in their favour. But at the back of it all, Captain Shrimps pulls out top trumps and decides he wants to stay in PGCQ2 for a little bit longer, not willing to hand over that top 6 spot too easily. And now we do have ourselves a real scrappy game still. Only 25 minutes in, we haven't got to that 40-minute barn burner banger just yet. But we could well be heading there with the way that Corki is able to extend games when Baron buffs don't go on to enemies. This game is still very much up for grabs.
So I want to ask you, Rude. We've got a minute 45 for that team fight timer. It would be Dragon Soul coming out from Maryville University. What is the setup looking like for both teams? Who wants to grab this priority early? It's already looking like Ginger Turmeric, who do have a lot of pick priority, which works well with that vision control over the river. We'll see if Maryville can get their footing there.
Do you want to hear... There's the analyst in me, and then there's the one who enjoys League of Legends in me. I'll give you 2 answers.
Give me the League of Legends one first.
Okay, the League of Legends one is you play for Baron, you give Cloud Soul, and you coin flip Elder in the hopes that you win. which is is the one I you know, as an
that
enjoyer
sounds
of
like the
League.
most Ginger Turmeric answer, to be honest.
I also agreed.
on
It's the one
brand.
I want to see. It also seems like the fastest way to success for them. But alternatively, you know, if they get the Baron, they could be in a good spot as well. I think the only real way they lose is if Maryville end up getting an Elder and getting a Baron. Those two things don't have to be together. It is one or the other. But there is certainly a world where the Baron is enough of a mechanism to allow Maryville to start breaking open the base and really start taking advantages. Cloud Soul, not quite.
They're going for Niles here. Not going to set up onto the Drake. Here comes Enchanted
Arrow.
Crystal Arrow. Lands onto Niles. Package is available for Captain Shrimps, but he doesn't need it to go for the kill. He's going to hold on to this one. And saving that package is a really big deal for this Dragon spawning in 20.
And they can very well contest this. Corki makes his way to objectives very quickly when he has that package available. And unfortunately for us, Deserux, they're going to get this Drake. There's no give the Drake and coin flip the Elder. It's simply secure Dragon. And then they can start to play up toward that Baron as well. Niles not spawning for 20 seconds or so. The Baron is live in 14, so there is that slightly elapsed timer in favour of AOE Ginger Turmeric. That's not just a kill also onto Niles, you know, isolated. It is the Guardian Angel popped as well. So 5 minutes where he's not going to have that revive, where him diving into the backline in these team fights that are likely to be set up around the Baron, it's going to be a lot scarier. It is if you go in and can't get back out, you simply die. You don't have that 4 seconds of staying power in that front line before you respawn.
And it's hard to collapse onto that backline right now because Turmeric, every fight has gone their way, so they have their summoner spells up. Flash available for Captain Shrimps for Deep Learn. On top of that, you have a stopwatch on Captain Shrimps, makes it oh so harder to be able to take him down and collapse onto him. So the pieces are starting to fit together for Ginger Turmeric right now. That gold lead is almost going their way, so close to it. They're going to look to make that a reality with this Baron play.
And this is a very AD-focused Corki as well. Guardian Angel looking to be in the works, a BF Sword at the very least being picked up. Essence Reaver plus Mirror Mana. These auto attacks are going to hurt as well as the rockets.
It's going to be big right here. Tidal Wave comes out. It lands onto nothing. Duo King's taking a lot of damage, though. Now waiting for the re-engage, but they can't do it at the time that you have Niles with the Meganar form. Flash from Captain Shrimps will get him away from the Meganar ultimate. Iconic in the middle of 3. Will be able to drop 1. Gets the kill onto Captain Shrimps. Asok finally dropping. Ultimatum doing a lot of work there as Niles gets the stun on a kill and will be able to take him down. Now it's a 2-on-2. Moose Hater tries to clean up, but Niles will take him down. And the showdown, Deep Learn versus Niles. Bet your bets. Here it goes, Niles will win out, and Maryville score the ace!
And the best part of all this, Deserix, is because only Niles is alive, it means we're going to get the same thing again in 30 seconds time. Everybody's going to be back up, everybody is going to be rooting toward that Baron, and we're going to get another team fight just like that. Deep Learn doing so much work on the backside for AOE Ginger Turmeric. That 3-item Ash on hit effects really going huge, but Niles doing just enough in his front line to win out on the fight. And this is exactly what you want. Two teams, backs against the wall, scrapping to the very death.
And with that going, well, relatively even, no objectives being taken, Maryville can just go and push for the Baron right now. No flash on Captain Shrimps. Guardian Angel now available, so he is going to have a second chance at life if he does go down. Flash for Deep Learn. Maryville University are just going to press the momentum.
All the engage tools are ready for AGT. They've pulled the arrow. Have they got more to follow?
Ooh, Niles still waiting for that Mega Mar bar. Ooh, getting it up right now. Kill, waiting on the wing. So is Captain Shrimps. Bubble's not going to land. Now able to pull in kill. A little bit of damage on the kills. Meganar's available, but Duo King in the middle of 5. Demonic Ascension going to be popped. Zone control in favor of Maryville University. Another peel on to kill as he'll get pulled forward, but still stays alive thanks to that Crescent Guard. But the rockets landing flush from Captain Shrimps, doing big damage on that backline. Moose Hater jumps in.
Niles.
He will take down Niles. Captain Shrimps looks for more with the bombs landing. Not Azog. He will back out, but taking the long, long way home right here. Ginger Turmeric are looking for the flank. Moose Hater over the wall, waiting for the cooldown on the hook shot.
Deep Learn!
There at the drop in the process, but Deep Learn pulled right back in. Almost falling down onto that one now. Moose Hater will go on to Iconic, but catches only the clone. Maryville University not going to lose more. So close is Ginger Turmeric. Moose Hater almost falling. Ginger Turmeric, they can't break for more. Maryville cutting their losses.
Both junglers are alive, but Iconic had to go back to base. There's a 20-second window. Can Iconic get back to this Baron in time? Ash gonna melt through this. The Corki with the AD gonna do the same. APA and Zyko are the two that have to defend.
Demonic Ascension gonna be used. APA
Baron's
jumps in.
gone.
It's burning, but he's in the middle of 5. Captain Shrimps finds a kill. Ginger Turmeric. They're looking at Titans when it comes to collegiate space, Titans when it comes to the amateur space, and they are not phased. They will take the fight to Maryville University.
These two teams are the only two that have taken competitive games away from 100 Thieves Next in summer. Maryville took them down in spring as well. AGT took them out in the open qualifiers. These are two teams that are not to be messed with, and when they are at their best, they are darn near impossible to take down. When they collide at these extreme heights of gameplay, we get these types of games, Destrux, where we go to 35 to 40 minutes, where it is Baron upon Baron, Elder upon Drake, upon Soul, upon everything getting thrown at them, and the fights that come down to the slimmest of margins. And we are in for a game number 2. This is only the second one of a potential 3-game series if AOE Ginger Turmeric can complete this comeback, can cement themselves in for game number 3.
How do they close it? How do they close it, Root Dude? Captain Shrimps looking good. 8-1-4 thus far. He is the source of damage right there. You got to keep him alive. That's the first thing that comes to mind.
Ooh, he's got a package. He has that safety net ready to go. If he gets caught, he can double you out to safety. Void Staff picked up for him as well. So this Rocket's now starting to deal a lot of damage also. Cloud Soul point now for both teams. 5 minutes before that Soul is going to be alive. And finally, we'll get somebody who has it. AGT, they're going to get this turret in the mid lane. Maryville made a play in that top side, and they're making one right here. Moosehead, if he steps too far forward, he's going to go down, and that could open up for Maryville to get a base broken open in that top side, but he's not stepping forward just yet. They only see 3.
Oh, Moose Hater. Moose Hater, he's going forward. The recalls
How
were
long can he
stopped.
stall?
He's going to get engaged on now. Niles jumps in, hook shot too far away. Calling's going to be used onto Moose Hater, but only drops him to about 1/3 of his health, and Azog's not willing to chase through. However, Ginger Turmeric, they see 2 in the top, and they see the end in the mid. Teleport going to be channeled to make sure that's not a reality, but Meganar is coming for Niles as he will jump in, landing it onto 1. Crescent Guard goes out. Already 1 pick found. Maryville falling behind in this team fight. Moose Hater jumps in, but he's into 4. Cyclone going to be used to get a knock up onto Moose Hater. Will use the ultimatum, but get dropped in the process. A 1-for-1 trade, a re-engage with the Zenith Blade. Now looking for another pull-in, kill, and the rest of the squad of Turmeric looking for the end. A knock-up with the 3-talent strike of the Azog, but Azog returns fire fast. He's looking to finish off kill. He'll take down kill. Another Zenith Blade goes off. He's able to find the pick. Captain Shrimps doing big work, but is it enough? Running away is Maryville. Iconic survives. Guardian Angel gonna be popped by Captain Shrimps. It's the last stand coming in for Maryville University. Can they stand? Can they make it a reality? Captain Shrimps is trying to put in that nail and put down Maryville.
The coffin still standing though. 2v3. Deeplen sustaining off the creeps. 1 turret between the Nexus and AGT going to game number 3. They've done just enough, Maryville, to clear the wave.
Going for Maryville, clearing the wave now, but the tower's still gonna go down. Deep learns by his lonesome. Iconic jumps in, but the damage so big by Captain Shrimps will burn his Guardian Angel. So
4
low
seconds on
is
Niles.
Captain Shrimps, but you can't get onto him. You can't take him down. Looking
Hit
for
Nexus.
APA. APA returning damage, but drops. Ginger Turmeric going for the Nexus, and they do it, yes! They can! Rotude! We have a series!
Deeplen, 150 HP from falling. That is all that stood between Maryville and defending their Nexus. But Ginger Turmeric do just enough. It is the bare minimum. But they send us to game number 3, Desterix. It is the series we were hoping it would be. Both of these teams do not want to be in the Gulag in PG. They want to go to top 6, and they're scrapping for it.
They're fighting and they're swinging. They're taking these fights back and forth. This is what we wanted. This is the type of slobber knocker. Oh my goodness, what a war between both of these two squads. Ginger Turmeric showing that they are not phased. They can coin flip. They can do the wildest plays. They bring the chaotic energy, and it nets them a win against Maryville to make this a game number 3, Rude Dude.
It does, and honestly, a truly well-fought victory by AGT. We thought this was going to be a slow roll to a 2-0. Maryville had momentum in the mid-game, but one Captain Shrimps package turns the whole game round.
Oh, man. What a great match right there. Instead of throwing it to the analysts, we want to take a break. We got to breathe, man. That was intense, and we got to get prepared for this game 3. So be sure to stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss it. Game 3 coming in just a second.